Good morning. Let me fix up the audio here. There we go. I think that sounds all right. Good morning, Sarah. Good evening. What's up, Boxer? What's up, Let's Mars? Crypto Digger. How you going? Kryptonian Kid. I remember when we were all pumped on Doge and you first met a Discord with other rowdy people. And the old guy that was an OG super millionaire. Yeah, good memory. What's up, Lex? So where did we leave off yesterday? Let's have a look. 24 hours ago, we were, let's see, here, basically, right here. Yesterday's stream was in this little bubble right here. So, that's where we are today. We've come down and we're testing, seeing if support is held at the bottom of our rising wedge here. We've wicked through it, so there's definitely been some activity beyond that line. However, there is, I don't know, at least right now there's evidence of support being held at the current moment. However, that may not last a hell of a long time. We just have to wait and see. I mean, this is the final candle of the day, the final hourly candle. And we're just going to see if we can basically get back up on top of things. At the moment, like if we turn on the smart money indicator, there has been no indication yet that we've changed direction, so we're still downtrending. So yesterday was here. This is where the daily opened on this red candle. So we opened at that level there. Let's get that drawn out. So that's the level we opened at. We're currently down 0.93, 0.92 roughly. So yeah, 1% basically, a 1% fall in Bitcoin's value since for today's performance. Solana fell 12% basically, crazy. Dogecoin 4.5, or a bit more than 4.5 there. So some really good shorts came out of yesterday or today, almost yesterday. But look at this. This could be like some kind of attempt at a pivot right here. Some evidence of that are these wicks. You can see the length of these wicks on the hourly time frame. So the last 3 hours, there's been a lot of buying at this level. People happy to throw down money and pick up Bitcoin at this level. The thing that's basically going to define a change in direction here, a change of character, is going to be our highs. So for me, like that high would be this one here, this pivot. We would have to get above that high there to consider a change in character, a change of character, which basically means a change of direction, change of trend. So we're still on a downtrend. We're going to see if we can break that line. But, you know, if this line gets respected as resistance and we bounce off it, that is still a downtrend. That would still be a downtrend, of course, in my opinion. I mean, it just depends what time frame you're on, like, and how you're measuring it. But yeah, basically the chart moves from change of character to change of character. So there was a bullish change here, which got corrected by a bearish change here, and we have not changed since then. So, you know, that is the trend that we're on, a bearish trend. So as far as trading goes, a really good way to look at it is when you've had your change of character. Let's say we had this bearish change of character here, is to basically take a short position at the break of your local low. Like, so right here would have been a good example. Let me go down to like the 5-minute chart. So we had our change of character on a higher time frame, and then if you identify a low, that's what you're looking at breaking. So once it breaks, you've got your confirmation that we're on trend, and that you can take a short and then put your stop above the previous swing, which would be here, and then you would ride, into profit wherever that goes, takes you down to. So that's the 5-minute chart, or the 1 hour. 1 hour, and then going down to the 5-minute for scalping out and sniping out a position. So from a 1 minute, like this is the scalpy chart, right? The 1 minute time frame. You're looking for scalps on this one. We've changed character on the 1 minute chart. So we're currently in an uptrend. That change of character happened arguably back here, depending on where you're measuring it from. But yeah, down on the 1 minute, it looks, these are our lows right now. So we're on an uptrend, and these are the lows we're looking at on Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah. So once we break the most recent low, that changes the character, that changes the direction. So if we break below that, I would be looking potentially for a short. It's probably better to wait for the close of the candle. Direction. So right now, a chain, like a break of structure here, if we break this white line, that is a change of character, because we would be getting lower lows instead of higher lows, if that makes sense. So we'd be going from up to down if we break it. But remember, pay attention to the way the candle closes. I'd say there's a bit of, there'd be a bit of buying here too for the people that don't think that it's going to break. Like they'd be entering potentially and then having a stop. Barely, see, look, there it is. There's the change of character. Right on cue. But remember, wait for the candle to close. See? That's why you wait for the candle to close, because this happens. You don't want to jump the gun. You want to wait for it to close. You want to get candle closes below the break, because it could end up just being a wick. And right there, that's called a swing failure pattern. So the swing failure is just that it's grabbing liquidity beyond the previous low. And that's exactly what it did. It grabbed the liquidity and bounced. So that's actually a nice little hammer right there, that little green candle there with the tail. Bullish hammer. So what are we now? We're 15 minutes out, basically, from the new daily candle. The current day was 1% down. This was, wow, what a drop. That candle right there. More than 0.5% in a single minute. That's a crazy drop right there. That would have been an awesome trade to take on this break of structure right here. But yep, that little wick through there wasn't yet a confirmed change of character. So we are still in this uptrend. The fact that we've come down to test that low, though, that is a sign that the momentum has, fallen off. Like it's definitely slowed down. You can see it. It's kind of, you can even just visually see that it's sort of rounding off. That initial volatility, that initial velocity has worn off a bit. Think about it like a football going through the air. Like it goes up fast initially, then gravity takes effect and it slows down, rounds out, loses energy, so to speak. But this is another interesting indication, is when you have a high and then a lower high here. So this is kind of like head and shoulders vibes going on right now on a very small time frame, right? But I feel like charts do behave in a fractal manner. So like whatever happens on the small time frame or whatever happens on the large time frame can happen on the small time frame as well, like the behavior. It's just that the small time frames don't have the big old lasting effect of the high time frame, if that makes sense. So you got to like sort of adjust your expectations accordingly depending on the time frame. But yeah, there's no doubt that we seem to have hit a level of terminal velocity, I guess you could say. And it seems to be like look at that. It was just like I was mentioning before, those swing failure or the liquidity grab where it just goes just beyond the previous pivot to grab liquidity and then shift back down again. So I think if I was to try and predict what's going to happen, it's a guess. Like this is why you trade off confirmation. You don't try to predict. You don't try to impose your will on the market. Let the market show you the direction with the way the candles close. So, but if I was to, if I'm going to have a gamble here, my bet would be that we break this low here and then change direction and then head down. But we'll see. I think this the fact that we're on this big blue line here, this is the support side of the rising wedge, right? If we go back out to the 4 hour and zoom out, we're in a huge rising wedge, and we're basically sitting on the support side of it. So this is a very critical point in the chart right now. And like, yes, there was a little bit of activity beyond that line, but nothing significant. It's kind of insignificant. We would need to see some big hourly candles closing below to call this a break of this support. This is just, you could call this a dirty test, a dirty retest of this trend line here. But yeah, look, we're still, I mean, we don't look bullish right now, put it that way. Like, the last 5 minutes have been kind of weak. You know, we're slightly bleeding here. And just look at the nature of these wicks. See the pressure, the sell pressure. Could not sustain candle closes up this high. That's another hint, right? Now this is interesting. See, not only are we at this support line, but we're also at the close of the day. So it's currently 48 minutes past the hour, so we've got 12 minutes left. Soon to be 11 minutes left of the day. There we go, 11 minutes. It's the 5 minute back to the 1 minute. But yeah, I guess this is the these are the parameters that you draw around current price, right? You figure out where the lows are, and that's here. You figure out where the highs are based off previous action, and that's like around here. So we are trading inside this rectangle, and we're not here to predict which direction it breaks. We're waiting for confirmation. So if it breaks up and we get candle closes outside the top, then we're likely to head up, right? If we get candle closes and confirmation below, then it's a change of direction, and we're heading back down on the larger time frames trend of a downtrend, right? So let's just see. Let's see what happens. I still think it's going to break down, but that's just a guess. And once again, this is why we have stop losses, right? In case we're wrong. So if I was to go short here, if I'm gonna jump the gun, which you shouldn't do, but if I was to jump the gun and say I think we're gonna break down, I would take a short here and have my stop loss set up here above the swing high, and then, you know, potentially ride it into profit if it works out, right? But the better way to play it is to wait for price to close beyond either of these lines and then take the position which suits that outcome. So, you know, long if it breaks resistance, short if it breaks support. But I don't know, like, let's see what the RSI is telling. What's the RSI telling us on, let's say, the hourly time frame? So we've got bullish divergence on the hourly time frame. We've got higher lows on RSI. So our oscillators are saying that these lows are cooling off. So the selling is cooling. But price is saying the other thing, the opposite. Price is saying that we're going lower and lower, right? So that is your classic bullish divergence. So perhaps these lines should be green to indicate bullish. But just like everything with technical analysis, nothing is guaranteed. So just because you see bullish divergence doesn't mean that you're going to get a bull trend off the back of that. It's just, yeah, you're just playing with likelihood. Like, is it likely to change direction here because of this bullish divergence? So yeah, as far as like a bullish scenario goes, we've tested support. We're at a line of support right now, a trend line, right? So either we're going to respect it and bounce off it and head up. So that's sort of like, that's kind of like our first clue. Clue number one is we're at support. Clue number two is that we've got bullish divergence here. So there's our second hint that we're going to turn to the upside. So that's the bull scenario. There's two fairly strong indications that this leg down has been exhausted. Now the bearish, let's try to find some bearish clues. Now the first clue here of it being bearish is that we're on a downtrend, so we're getting lower lows and lower highs. So, you know, classic downtrend, right? That's the market structure right now. Let's try to see what other hints we can find, maybe on different time frames. So on the 4-hour chart, there's nothing divergent about it. It's all confluent. There's no, you know, everything's business as usual on the 4-hour. Like, this could keep collapsing here. There's still room below on RSI on the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, 1 hourly bullish divergence, maybe it does have an effect, but it may not last forever, like, so to speak. Like, it might cause a little kick up here, a retest of this high before being rejected, and then come down, and that would basically give us the resolution to this divergence. You know, I shouldn't put an X, I'll put a circle. This would resolve this bullish divergence if we were to get that little kick up and then rejection. Yeah, back down to the, what do we got, 6 minutes? 5 minutes? Until daily. What's up, Serrano? What's up, Jack? Who else do we have in here? Adam. Look at my boy Sol. Yeah, Solana got massacred 100%. People sold that off. MSJS, hi. Five minutes. And then we'll get our answer. Maybe. You know, it would be unlikely, but frustrating, and, you know, there's still a chance it could happen, is if we get the daily close and we get stuck doing that. I don't know. It could happen. It could bounce around in this little pocket. That would be a squeeze, I suppose. But yeah, this little moment of relief off the downtrend, right? That could be what this bullish divergence was indicating, right? Just this brief moment of you know, relief from the downtrend. And if that is the case, then yeah, this could be a really beautiful short entry coming up once we get confirmation, you know? We'll see. MSJS, we could be going back down. Yes, 100% we could be. Due to the fact that we've been in a bearish structure on the higher time frame here, you can see we fell into it. So we fell because of FTX. We rallied up, came down, and we're currently testing the bottom side of this rising wedge, which textbook, if it plays out textbook, we're going to get our fall. Now, zooming further out than that, we've got a much larger structure at play, which is this falling wedge. And then if you want to get even more zoomed out than that, if you want to talk even more macro, we've got our logarithmic falling wedge, which is this one. Let me go to the, say, the week, maybe the daily. Zoomed out on the daily. And logarithmic, that is our larger, even larger again, right? So yeah, there's three wedges at play here. Let me get the triangle tool. Where does it live? In here, triangle, okay. So this is the small fella that we're in right now. And it's a rising, so it's, maybe that's red instead of blue. Let's turn that opacity up so we can see it. So that's what we're currently in. There is the semi-macro, so this is like the medium, I guess you could call this the medium time frame. Falling wedge. Now that's bullish, so maybe we'll put that as like a lighter color. And then we've got the big fella. This bad boy. It's like a very high time frame falling wedge. So yeah, three different wedges at play right now. Short term, I'm bearish. Long term, I'm bullish. That's if you want to know like my stance on things. What do we got? 1 minute left. 30 seconds left of the day. Just gonna hide this for a second. So today was basically down 1% for the day. Just about to get our answer of how we're gonna leave this structure. Looks like it might go up. Here we go. There's the day. There's our daily candle close. It could be. It could be a rip. Could be. And you see, like, okay, we're down on the 1 minute, right? But you can see a smaller time frame uptrend right here. It goes like this. think we're going down. That's cool. We've got 28 people in the stream. That's cool. Smash the like button, guys. See if we can get some more people to trickle in. I think the record lately of like people tuning in is like 35. I think I've seen that's about as high as it's been of late. Tim says just call it a cup and handle and walk away with the house on it. That's scary. Time to turn the camera off. It's like blinding my eyes. That's better. Now I can see. Ooh, look at this candle. This is interesting. Could this be the decider? Polls 50-50. Remember that the candle needs to sort of break, not only break it, but close. That's looking good for the bulls right here so far. Still got 14 seconds left. It could be a fake out, you know. That's the thing. Like they'll trick you. They'll trap you. They'll make it look good just to trap you as a yeah. Another liquidity grab potentially. But yeah, you can always take a chance. We still have not got a close outside the zone yet. We need to wait for this candle now. Technically speaking, we're still inside the box. Yeah, see that? See, if we were to collapse from here, that's a great example of why you don't take a position until the candle closes. Wait for confirmation, right? $16,560 seems to be the resistance we're dealing with right now. $16,560. Here we go. Okay, buys are coming in. New highs. Back on trend. So it looks like the majority of people, well, at least for right now, are wrong about direction. Well, we're still technically we're still inside the rectangle. We haven't closed this candle yet, but it's looking okay for the bulls. There's so many points of resistance though. Like to climb up, we have to fight all of that. But hey, things, any direction change starts on the small time frame, right? It's one hurdle at a time. One hurdle at a time. Okay, there's a close outside of the resistance. So technically, if you were to take a long, it would be somewhere in this area, right? And then you would set a stop just here. And that would be your position. So if you go like, if you were to go 1 to 1, so you did it on the candle close, right? That's there. Set a stop just below the previous swing. which would be basically invalidating the move, and then set the risk to reward to 1.5-ish, something like that. And then, yeah, wait for that profit to roll in. So what's happening here? We've got a little bit of a pullback. Will it be enough to cancel this uptrend? Are we going to get a break? And just to put into a bit of perspective, this is taking along after the trend, like very late in the uptrend, right? If we're calling this an uptrend, it's taking along very late, but we'll see how it plays out. So remember, one thing you can do when you have taken a scalp position and price goes into profit, you can bring up your stop loss to break even, or just bring it up higher. But maybe you do that at when price hits 1-to-1 risk to reward, which would be like, you know, somewhere around here. But yeah, let's just leave it as is for now. Just another strategy to think about. Get rid of that squiggle. There we go. Ooh. Someone pulled the rug. It's funny how some people maybe change their bias. We've got 19 votes on that poll. That's pretty good. It's a good participation there. This could just be like a little retest. We'll see. If it stops out, it stops out. You know, that's part of trading. But you have to be in it. You have to take trades to make money, right? You can't just wait. You can't sit on the sidelines. So yeah, getting stopped out isn't the end of the world. It's part of it. It is part of trading, right? You're not going to win every single trade. But yeah, let's say this does get stopped out, right? The next thing you would do is analyze why, and like why this position was a losing trade. And then you try not to repeat taking positions that's in that same fashion. I can already tell one reason is that you shouldn't be opening a trade late into a trend. So if we're calling this an uptrend, right? We're kind of entering very late on this uptrend. It could be exhausted. Another factor is that on a higher time frame, this is a downtrend still, right? Got lower highs and lower lows on the 15-minute chart, right? The hourly even says so, downtrend. The 4-hour is still, you know, a downtrend. You can see here, this is the swing structure. So this low here and this high here, these are like the boundaries of the current range that we're in. And then if you go up to the daily, there are the boundaries for that. Well, it's not really showing them, but the boundaries are on the daily right here. So there and there. That's our boundaries right now. So you've got the yearly low and then our recent high. Change color. So we're kind of right now, we're in the middle of the road. Like we're, you know, slightly on the downside below that, you know, middle area. Or in that poll. So most people said we were heading up. I think most people cast their vote once we got the breakout side. That's all right. So yeah, this, I guess, this hypothetical trade, this is an example of a bad trade, right? It's based off the setup, like it's risky trading against the higher time frame trends. Even though, you know, there was, okay, we did get this dead cat, but that does not mean that we're changing, you know, into a bull trend all of a sudden. So yeah, are we coming back to break this line here? I'm going to change it to a dotted line. Remember, that was our change of character line that I highlighted here that we broke just ever so slightly. We grabbed liquidity and then headed up. So now that we've dealt with potentially, this was another liquidity grab beyond this high and this high here. That's the nasty thing with trading. It's like price can be so volatile and jump around so much that you always second guess, you know, the position that you take. So the best thing to do is just take a position based off, you know, your formula and just let the market do what it's got to do, right? So that's why I've left this here, even though it's probably going to lose. It's probably going to stop out, but we'll just leave it there and see what happens. Like, so what are the facts that we're dealing with here? We've got a low. We've got a series of higher lows, right? This whole area is just higher low. This is like, arguably that's a little liquidity grab on a short time frame. So we're going to call that an equal low. I don't think it broke the structure. It's just a wick. But yeah, we've pretty much got a series of higher lows. So we've definitely got the hallmarks of an uptrend, right? This little dip maybe shook a few people out that took positions up here, like the one that I took, this hypothetical position. Sort of like, you know, pull back. Shake out the monkeys before moving up. Good evening, American Crypto Monster. Tim says, pop out to that weekly for the huge RSI divergence since the 18th of June. Huge, yeah. There is actually huge bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. Let's go find it. Let's go identify that. I think I've said it in a few streams before, but let's go have a look at it. Because you got to look at it. Sometimes you just got to look at it. I have to expand this a little just so we can really see it. But yeah, right here down to here. Make that like a fat line. What color? It's bullish divergence, so I'm going to make it green. I'm going to make the line really thick so that you can see it. And then we're going to take the corresponding low on the RSI, which is right there, and take it to the low over there, which is here. That is really fat bullish divergence on the weekly. Trend. Look at all that. That's just, oh, that's what you want when you're trading. You just want a direction that adheres to, you know, look at, you can see it here. There's a pivot there, pivot down here, pivot right there, pivot, dump. Now inside those moves, you can see a substructure as well. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See the substructure? Then you got a small uptrend here. You got another downtrend here. We're down on the minute, remember? This is the minute chart. You can see the structure. That's essentially what a trend is made up of. Little zigzags inside of bigger zigzags. And remember this, and then there's also, you zoom out and there's a bigger zigzag going on like that. So it's like as above, so below, right? Let's zoom out again to the 1 hour. So all that exists, and we've got we've got this. It's a continuation of that other zigzag, but yeah, you get the idea. And this is why when you're talking about any kind of analysis, time frame is very critical to sort of let people know what you're talking about. Like what context, like what's the context of your analysis here? Like if you're a bull, you gotta say on what time frame you're bullish, I guess. Or if you're a bear, like at what time frame are you talking? Like, so right now I'm a 1 minute bull because we've got higher lows and higher highs until proven otherwise, right? So when that trend gets invalidated because we get a change of character, that's when you flip your bias. Like you go, okay, I'm no longer a bull, I'm a bear, because we've broken that structure. And that becomes your stance. And yeah, I guess the safest, I don't know, maybe the safest place to take positions is at those change of structures, those change of directions, the pivots. If you can identify the pivots, it's probably the strongest place to take a position, because you're early on the new trend. Yeah, this is taking a while to take off. This feels like it's squeezing, actually. Let me just turn off automatic and move this around. So what I can see happening here is we've got a bit of a descending trend here, something like that. And we've got a rising trend here, something like this. Maybe you want to like draw it back to here at the cost of chopping off a couple of wicks, but yeah, you get the idea. It's something like this, maybe. Some kind of squeeze is happening right now, some kind of pivot. Sorry, pennant, not pivot. So we've got, our highs are getting lower and our lows are getting higher. So it's squeezing. Are we about to break? So the only reason I'm really down on the 1 minute is because we're getting answers quicker to this strategy. If I was to do this on the 1 hour, this would take days and days to find out the result of the of the analysis. So yeah, that's why we're just down here on the 1 minute. There's a big buy. Technically speaking, this is some kind of bull pennant, right? Price came up into it from below and has been squeezed. So it's working its way to the apex of this pennant kind of structure. So yeah, let's see if it gets invalidated or whether it goes, textbook breakout to the upside. It is kind of a rising pennant in a way. I can see what you mean. Like there is a slight bias to up because of the way that it looks. Let me draw it to explain that. I'm going to favorite that rectangle tool, that triangle. Sorry, it's very handy. Okay, I'm going to bring it up over here. So this would be considered symmetrical, right? That is symmetrical, where the center line is dead. Even that is even better. That's like equilateral, right? That's an equilateral triangle where all angles are equal. This is symmetrical. But what I can see is that we're slightly like that, which is kind of like a positive, like to me that's a bullish kind of pennant. Whereas something more like that looks bearish because your highs are getting much lower, whereas your lows are only slightly getting higher. And then when you go like that, that's obviously a different shape altogether. That's your descending triangle, and that's your ascending triangle. But yeah, so far we're dealing with one of these, like slightly ascending pennant, I guess you could say. Yeah, I think we're going to get an answer soon. It's squeezing down. A very rare thing is if price gets squeezed right into the pocket, like right into the apex, and then it doesn't actually do anything, like it just goes flat. Okay, it can happen, but it's just unlikely. Have to get some kind of resolution out of this. Should have our answer within 15 minutes, I think. XRP, big dump on the short time frame right now. Thanks, Jack. Oh, yeah, it's down like almost 1%. XRP. What else has fallen pretty sharp? ADA, Cardano has fallen 1.3% already for the day. That's ugly. Bitcoin, look at this. We're sort of on the bottom side of this pennant now. So Bitcoin's still pretty much at break even so far from open. Hasn't really gone anywhere yet. Tron's up, Litecoin's up, Filecoin's well up. It's almost 1% up, Filecoin. The way this line is sort of respecting so far. Oh, there we go. We're starting to lose it. Is it going to be enough for us to totally collapse, though? Could just be a wick. We'll see. I think there's a fair chance that this silly trade gets stopped out, right? Let's just take it over here like this. Lock it in. I'm going to change this line to be white because it's a bit hard to see, I think. It follows the price. Follows live. I wonder if it could be changed to like a solid line too. Probably not. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, I guess this whole bounce that we're experiencing here could be a very short-lived dead cat bounce on a higher time frame, right? and maybe we're starting to see it round off, and it's going to start collapsing pretty soon. That's fairly possible, right? Because we've certainly that velocity has slowed a lot. Our highs aren't getting terribly higher. We've got a bit of a head and shoulders on our hands here too. Look, so we've got shoulder 1, head, and then shoulder 2, left shoulder, right shoulder. The other way people draw it is like this. So yeah, that could certainly slam price back on trend, right? That being a downtrend. Let's get rid of those lines. Zoom back in. So is me following price action on the 1 minute, is this helping anyone? Let me poll you guys. Do you enjoy the 1 minute price action? Let me word it this way. Do you enjoy me covering the 1 minute price action? There we go. If it's a no, then obviously I'll know not to not to do this on the next stream. Just following like the micro movements. Ooh, what's this? We've got a bit of a move pumping. Okay, 3 people have voted so far. Yes, you guys enjoy the 1 minute. That's cool. 1 minute's helpful. Awesome. So, you know, as above, so below. So whatever's happening on the 1 minute, you can take this strategy and apply it to the 1 hour if you want, or the daily. It doesn't really matter what time frame you pick, because this strategy is price structure. It's you know, you're dealing with higher lows and higher highs, and lower lows and lower highs, and so on and so forth, right? It's just, yeah, it's a fractal. We are zoomed in on a small fractal of what can happen on the higher time frames. So the little hypothetical long position isn't dead yet. It lives, right? It's still alive. We've had a couple of scary passes down here. Ooh, look at this. This is looking interesting. It makes for good drama, the 1 minute chart. It's good. Nice and dramatic. Like, and you get your answers a lot quicker scalping on the 1 minute. I'm just going to turn up the music and let the chart do the talking, I think. You'll hear me try to call out stuff, but for the most part, let's just let the music play. It's much better. Might hit the little scalp here, the little take profit. So at this point, this is where I'd be moving the stop loss up to break even so that we don't lose money. So this is where the stop loss now lives, basically at break even, right? And hey, there is nothing wrong with taking profit. If you see profit on the table and you're not sure about the trade, take the profit. Take the profit. You know what I mean? No one's gonna laugh at you. I swear they used to have like a YouTube symbol amongst here. YouTube. Or am I just not seeing it? Oh wow. You can put cats on there now. I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. Approaching when shit hits the fan. Right now, what's my mood on this trade? Right now, I'm like feeling kind of like this, like, ooh, we might hit profit here. And then hopefully we can be like this. I don't know, right now it's like, I don't know, it's not there yet. Haven't taken profit yet. I was thinking, yeah, damn, we used to have like a YouTube symbol we could put up. Hey, look. There's your bull flag. I wonder if you can favorite these. And they got all the cool emojis, right? Oh, the bulls and bears. The bulls fighting the bears right now. If only she was wearing green. It's alright. Unicorn. Still looking good. This is kind of bull flagging right now. We might get our target hit. We'll see. Just be cautious. Hold hands. It's like they took out the YouTube play button. Used to be in here. Remember to smash the like button, guys. Bull flag breaking out. Your bull flag looking something like that, right? There's a way to cut these ends off. There we go. There's your typical bull flag right there. Bam. Oh, there's a little wick. Didn't really go far, did it? So far. got bull and bear emojis now too, huh? It's the closest thing we can get to a bull. It's our bear. This dude, I guess. And then the bull, the bear, and the bull. It's more like this. Oh, Tim Webb with the $5. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. Don't see a lot of these days. Tip your waiter. Doing great, Rick. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. So far, the Bulls are winning this little fight here. See, the 1 minute chart can be fun, can't it? You can have your own little bull market. You can have your own little party out on the 1 minute chart. Measure the volatility. It's a 1 minute bull run. I mean, it's a 1% bull run. Would this flag be extending? Long flags aren't great. The shorter the better. I just figured something out. Let me turn the music down for a second. All right. So with this little risk to reward indicator, see how we've got an arrow pointing down that's fixed to that position down? It's because the trade stopped out. But when you take the stop loss beyond the low, the trade is still active, so we haven't got our result yet. We're about to. It looks like we're breaking out of the flag. Still got 20 seconds left on this candle. But there we go, okay. We're starting to move up into profit. We almost made it. Hasn't quite hit yet. It's a pretty big wick. Is this move going to be sustained? See, if we hit target, this dotted line here, this dotted arrow pointing at price will basically stop. Like the dotted line gets locked in. It prints the result, right? This could be a little bit of a rest before the move if we get the target hit. Okay, here's the next candle. Seems to be the way it goes lately, huh? It's like you take a step in the bullish direction and then everyone gets scared of the high price. So people like freak out, they take profit, or they, you know, they open a short or something. Yeah, just gotta wait for that confirmation, that commitment from the bulls. It is cool to see that once we did get up into our profit zone, we have not come back down below our entry. So that's really cool. So remember the condition of this entry. It wasn't the best entry, by the way. It wasn't a good one. You can get better than these, but the reason we got in was because this candle, the candle where this color starts, right, was the candle that broke this high here. Remember, we were looking for a close above that candle, that wick high there. So that was the condition for entry with our stop loss set at the previous swing low, which was here. So stop loss just below that point, targeting 1.5 risk to reward. So if we put that back down to the original spot, it was like roughly there. Yeah, Zigzag. You're right. Yes, Zigzag says see if Doge will show off now, and it's quite possible, you know. I think if Bitcoin gets this show on the road and it actually gets back up, you know, into this area properly, it's only sort of wicked into it now, but if it gets back up into it, that's going to be bullish for the rest of the market, and you'll see like the alts have a good day, you know, like a green day. But we're not there just yet. It's off to a good start, but yeah, it's early. We're still early. We're 1 hour into the day. We just hit the hour mark. Could this be it? Could this be the move that pivots us back into a downtrend? I'm just gonna leave it all up. I'm not gonna touch it. I'll just let this thing play out. So it definitely hit a 1-to-1. I think 1-to-1 was this level. Let me just unlock this. So we're at 1.51 is the final target, but 1-to-1 is right there. So I'm going to draw a line for 1-to-1. That's 1-to-1. And then 1.5-to-1 is up here. We'll just call it a 1.51. So that's where it was. Okay. So because price pushed to the 1-to-1 area, that's when your stop loss gets brought up to or at or just above break even, just above where your entry was. So that would be where your stop loss moves to. So this trade is still alive. It hasn't died yet. So the cool thing is when it does go 1-to-1, it means you're not losing money on this trade at all. Like maybe you pay a little fee or something, but you know, you could even have that come up a little higher from your entry so that it's above your break even. So at least you're leaving with some kind of profit. You could have it moved to say here or something, just to cover fees, right? But yeah, it's a win in and of itself. When you hit 1-to-1, that is, you know, that's okay. You were correct on the direction, right? from your entry. But yeah, it would be nice to see it, you know, collect profit at the top here, but it may not happen. Let's end this out. As time rolls by, it's like we need more. We need more sideways. we need to take this tool further out. So what do I mean by one-to-one for those that don't really understand it? It's just that the length from entry, like the distance from entry to stop loss, is the same as entry to take profit, or entry, that's the one-to-one point, right? They're equal. So 1 to 1.5, which is my target for take profit, is 1.5 of the distance. So that's 1.5 risk to reward. Up here would be a 1 to 3. There's a 1 to 2. There's a 1 to 3. See if that is right. There's the 2. See, the risk to reward ratio is 2. And there's the 3 risk to reward ratio. But yeah, 1.5. Scott, what's happening? Scott says, I remember when I first started listening to you, you were showing charts where everyone is selling and frustrated and sells. I've had black powder for this occasion. There you go, man. So you've been an OG. And I think, do you mean dry powder? All right, so we're under risk here of just stopping out at break even from this little fall here. We've changed character. Can you see that? So this potentially could be a short position opportunity, right? With stop loss set to previous swing high and then targeting 1.5 risk to reward, so down here. But yeah, just as an example, right? So if you were doing, oh, look at this. This is a sudden burst of of buying. So if you were doing the one-to-one where you move your stop loss up to break even, this trade would still be alive thanks to this candle here that we just pulled in. This has been a roller coaster, this trade. It's been up and down. It's been all over the place. Is there any roller coaster memes? I mean, emojis. Coaster. There's one. It's been quite the roller coaster in both directions, right? We need one that goes down. So maybe if we do this. Oh, damn. It doesn't work. All right. Daniel says, hey Rick, have you tried using OpenAI Chat GPT? Yes, I have. Yep. It's pretty interesting, huh? It's good fun. Where's our roller coasters at? I think that was the only roller coaster emoji. It's like we might be stopping out here. This is where I put this face in if it gets near the stop loss. Right now, this is how I'm feeling. It's a roller coaster of emotions. That's trading. This is why bots can be good, because they don't feel the emotion. They have the predefined, targets, stop losses, rah rah rah, and it just happens. They just stay deadpan the whole time. Zero emotion. Obviously, up here, where's the little dollar sign eyes? That's up here. That's if we take profit away up here. And then maximum pain down here. if we were to stop out. So yeah, this little emotion just follows the price. It's very volatile. It's like all over the place right now. Wow, look at this one. This candle's going shooting for the stars. You can hear my emotions changing, like as price continues. This one-to-one line's throwing me off a little bit. Makes me look like it's going to hit target, but it's not our target. That is really weird. To move all the way up and then sell all the way back down again. I guess that's what the 1 minute chart is. It's a lot of all over the place, isn't it? I mean, realistically speaking, we're trading in something that looks more like that. Like it's quite flat. Nothing's really. We've just got it amplified and we're under a microscope right now, so everything looks pretty dramatic. Damn, I thought we'd get a result a little bit sooner. More times than you can count, Serrano, yeah. Must happen to the best of us, I think. So maybe a 1.5 risk to reward is too ambitious. Maybe this should be dialed back to like a 1.4. Maybe that's the secret, you know? Lower your expectations. Don't be so greedy in a bear market or in low volatility, right? We are in very low volatile market at the moment. It's very hard to squeeze 1% of performance out of Bitcoin, let alone 0.5%. But yeah, dude, is that the answer? Should we be lowering our expectations? A risk to reward of 1.4 instead of 1.5? Maybe even lower, maybe like a 1.2. Yeah, there are definitely times where you need to like adjust your expectations a little. 1.5 is fairly ambitious for this current condition, I think, this market. But we'll leave it there for argument's sake. I think I had it at 1.51, so let me just adjust that. I don't want to cheat. There we go, 1.51. Yeah, that's it. Having various trade setups. Trading to the conditions, you know, setting up your risk to reward to conditions. Like obviously you're not going to have a risk to reward ratio of 5 in the current in the current market. It's just, you know, on Bitcoin, that's yeah, 5 is like a huge target. Maybe you could play that on a swing trade, but not on a scalp. On scalps, you got to have smaller targets for scalping. If you're day trading, right, you've got to have realistic targets. Maybe a 1.51 ratio doesn't suit the 1 minute chart, the 1 minute scalp chart. You're more likely to hit targets more often if you have it maybe 1.2, 1.3-ish, you know. A 1-to-1, now that's basically like you're risking 1 to gain 1, so it's, yeah, it's not the most ideal. You got to try and get it above 1-to-1 so that your edge plays out over time, right? There we go. It got stopped out. So if you were doing the strategy where you raise your stop loss after hitting 1-to-1, then this trade stopped out at break even. So how long did it take to get that result on the 1 minute? It took 1 hour and 15 minutes to break even. Shit happens. Shit happens. But look how close. Like, I mean, this is why you don't always have to let it go to your target, right? You can see, you can play it by judgment. Like if you think, oh, like it seems to be slowing down, it's weakening, like you can adjust your target. Like there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you're making money, you're making money, right? But Lex Luthor is behind all this nonsense. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully this has been beneficial, me sort of tracing out this scalp and explaining like the strategy that I would use behind it. Maybe next time we could like follow Dogecoin instead because it moves faster. You get a lot more performance out of Doge. Look at this correction right here. All right, let's delete all this. That basically, I'm going to call that a break-even trade. That's just a null trade. But yeah, good to explain the strategy anyway. This bull flag did play out textbook. It didn't last long. The break, it happened, but yeah, you have to be quick to take the profit. You have to have your finger on the trigger. But yeah, this pennant, this was a good one. It tried to fake us out here. It broke down and like momentarily before taking off. Yeah, let's clean this chart up a bit. Maybe I will just have a quick look at Doge because, you know, Doge can be fun to trade. Delete all these lines. So that's Bitcoin on the 1 minute. Let's it is still on a downtrend, of course, on the 1 hour chart. That hasn't changed. This entire move arguably has just been a bit of a dead cat bounce. Especially, I mean, the confirmation of that is if we continue going down. This whole move here was a dead cat. Right, where's Dogecoin? Here it is here. This is Doge. Let's go down to the 1 minute time frame on Dogecoin. It looks a lot more exciting. What did we trade? An hour and a half? An hour and 15 minutes, right? There's the same time frame. So starting here, Doge has been That's what Doge did in that same time frame. Let's measure that. So it went down 0.6% and it went up 1%. That's way better performance for scalping. So yeah, as far as scalping is concerned, you're probably going to get more action out of Dogecoin than you will out of Bitcoin, obviously, because Bitcoin's such a big juggernaut of a coin, right? It's like the Titanic, whereas Dogecoin's like a little jet ski zipping around. So you're going to get a lot better performance for scalping out of something like Doge, right? Less leverage is required for Dogecoin. So let's say you were using a 10x on Bitcoin for scalping. Maybe you could dial it back to a 5x on Doge, just as a rough example. It's not advice by any means, but yeah. But if you keep it at 10x, if you keep the leverage when you're scalping Doge at 10x, that's like, pretty awesome performance that you can get. You just have to be prepared for the losses. If trades get stopped out, and that's part of the game, right? So let's turn on the smart money indicator, the 1 minute on Dogecoin. We've had a change of character here. So we've broken the recent swing low right there. So let's take a short position just for the hell of it. It's probably not going to work out, but yeah, we'll just see if the change of character trade works. Technically, we've had candle closes below, and that's why it's stayed there. It hasn't reprinted. We've had that remain in position, and already it's taking off again. Look at that. So this is an example of a liquidity grab, right? Or a swing failure. So it swung below, trapped some bears perhaps, and then moved up to stop them out. So let's try to enter it with that in mind, like the fact that it's probably going to try and stop us out. So maybe instead of entering at the breakout, let's enter at resistance, a short, potentially. Or see, there's so many different ways to approach this. It's like, do you take a long at the swing failure? Like, do you go here and take a long where the swing failure happens? The liquidity grab, right? With a tight stop, and then targeting, say, the next pivots up here, which is actually a 2 risk to reward ratio. See, that would only be a 0.2% profit trade going from there to there, but I mean, much like Bitcoin, this whole move here could potentially be just a dead cat bounce, right? We've got a very critical price level below us here on Dogecoin, which is the 7-cent mark. 7 cents. So A healthy bounce off 7 cents. Is that what we're dealing with here? Is this a pivot? Is this a big old pivot? It could be. I mean, we've done it before, right? We pivoted here off 7 cents. There's a few examples of it. I mean, that was like a very dirty test of 7 cents. Like, we fell through it pretty severe, but we go out to, like, say, the 4-hour chart. There's been many pivots off this area. Here's a pivot, here's a pivot, here's a pivot, and then, yeah. Now, okay, this is a good example of the difference between scalping and say, swing trading, right? Swing trading, yes, it takes longer to get your result, but you can set up a position and then walk away. Like, if you think this support's going to hold, this 7 cents, then yeah, you could place a long position here with a stop loss at, say, like, you know, 6,850 or 6,9, which would be like, you know, you basically tap out because you don't want to be in it if it goes that low, as your stop loss, and then just, you know, wait for the change in direction. So you're basically taking a punt on 7 cents holding as support and then moving up. And that would be like more of a swing trade, you know, which may take, you know, up to a week to play out, like before it hits like a nice level of profit. Or, you know, the other case would be it gets stopped out, and then you can change your bias and go, okay, I'm going to open a short then, because we've well and truly broken below 7 cents. Yeah, many different strategies. What's up, Aaron? Sup? That's cool. Out of 25 votes, 96% of people do like the 1 minute price action coverage. There's a vote, maybe a vote or two in there that don't like that 1 minute time frame. That's cool. Not a problem. So yeah, I think that's enough information for me to say that, yeah, I'll make that part of the stream at some stage, like maybe after I do my analysis, so to speak, and go into like a short time frame and just scalp for fun, you know. These little hypothetical trades. This was a 2-to-1. So the 2 would have hit a 2-to-1 risk to reward. There was no real rhyme or reason where I put the stop loss either. I think that was just, you know, you don't want to be in the trade if it goes too far south. Maybe 0.1% fall. And then like targeting a 0.2% take profit. So that's a 2-to-1. Have you heard of ALBT? ALBT? I haven't heard of that. So at 5x, that would have been 1%. 0.2% profit times 5, 1%. So 5x. A 10x would have been 2%, which is cool. But yeah, this market definitely feels like drawing blood from a stone lately, especially over Christmas. That was painful seeing, Bitcoin just chopping perfectly sideways. Pretty painful. Anyway, yeah, if you like this method of trading, this is the Smart Money Concepts Indicator by Lux Algo. I've got everything turned off except for the labels and lines. So you can have the boxes in there, but I've turned them off. That's like your order block boxes, that kind of thing.